Hey guys, it's Cypher here, and today we're going to look at Taloc in the upcoming raid Uldir. This is the first encounter in the raid, but it's still a pretty interesting fight. So you start off in a circular room. You want to keep the raid on one side, so that when a player gets plasma discharged they can move and drop pools on the other. Players who get this debuff need to make sure that they're dropping the pools as close together as possible. This will make it easier for the tank to clear when the boss casts Cudgel of Gore. For this, the tank needs to position themselves so that they can clear as many pools within 15 yards as possible. And the reason we have the raid on the opposite side is because the Cudgel does an AoE with a drop-off effect the further you are. Melee players need to watch out after the Cudgel is thrown. The boss will charge over, damaging and knocking back any players in his way. The next ability to watch out for is Sanguine Static. This is just a cone knockback that does a little bit of damage. If possible, avoid it when you can, but if not, make sure you're in a position where you're not going to get knocked into the pools. It works in a similar way to Wake of Flames on Agramar, where he selects a target to cast it on, so you can face it away from the raid if you're in melee. That's all the abilities for phase 1, and when you hit 60% he will run to the middle of the rune and power down. He will take 99% less damage at this point, and it turns out you're actually on an elevator and moving down into the next room. Our group only had a few pulls, so the footage at this point isn't great. Also, the ads didn't actually spawn for us, although other groups did get them and they should spawn on live. During this phase, 2 ads should spawn. You have the coalesced blood and the volatile droplets. To deal with this, the raid should stack up, having the tanks pick up the bloods and moving around the room as they drop the pools. Volatile droplets will target random players, and if anyone gets hit by them, they'll get knocked back and get hit for a decent amount of fire damage. If the raid is stacked, then the bloods go all to the same location, which would make it easy for tanks to just run and clear them. Phase 3 is mostly the same as phase 1, except with a much larger room, and the droplets will still spawn. You want to deal with this the similar way to phase 1, however it's not as much of a deal if the pools are not quite as stacked together, because you have so much space to deal with that unless you are heavily undergeared, you're probably not going to have problems with space. Again, make sure the off tank is absorbing the droplets, and just work through the boss. It shouldn't be too difficult. It's the first boss in the encounter. For a first boss, it's definitely interesting, and it really sets the standard for this raid. On Mythic, it looks like there's going to be a raid soak mechanic, and also a slow that's thrown out on random players, which looks like it might require more attention for anyone with plasma discharge. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this preview interesting, and good luck in BFA.